Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest. I'm Terry Hayes. I currently serve as the first independent state treasurer in the state of Maine. I'll tell you a little bit. I was elected by a coalition of Republicans, Democrats, and independents for the first time in 2014. It had never happened before. We were elected by the legislature in Maine, and the party holding the majority across the two bodies typically has elected one of their own. The Democrats had the majority, and I beat a Democratic incumbent. I was reelected again in 2016, so I'm in my second term. I'm also a candidate for governor as an independent. I benefit from some of the things that Greg identified as being lacking. Maine has a strong history of independent leadership. Sometimes it bubbled up through the political parties, imagine that. Sometimes we still see it there. But we also have true independence, and I aspire to be Maine's third independent governor, and the first female to do that, and the first running on Maine's public funding clean elections program. I'm here today to support this movement of Unite America because I so believe in the tenets and particularly the specific values that were expressed in Nick's remarks. It is about putting what's really important, the people, before the partisanship. It's not the parties that are really the problem, it's the partisanship. We've had parties for a long time, and they've been competitive during the election cycle, which we bless, but we need to transition to governing on election night. Once we know who won, they have to do their jobs that they ran for. And instead, what we experience is people that are campaigning all the time. We need that, there's a time for that. But government, when it really makes a difference for folks, is a collaborative exercise in public policy. And I'm here because Unite America is going to help us right that ship so that we can get back to a time when we are, in fact, competing during the campaign because it is competitive, and then collaborating when we're governing. That's what I think is important. I know that in Maine, some of the toughest issues that we're confronted with have continued to churn, and we're not making reasonable progress. So what's happening is government continues to cost more, but the outcomes are diminished. This is an opportunity for us to come together and support each other, recognizing that inclusive, pragmatic, civil leadership makes a difference. And I want to be part of this movement and invite others to join us, precisely because I think this is how we make that path forward, precisely what we need at this point in time. I have no issue with the parties. I just want to execute our public policy work in a way that generates outcomes for all of us, especially those of us that are paying the bills. I really also want to offer an invitation for folks across the country, the state of Maine and all across the country, to join us in this, because this is our government. And this is our opportunity to make sure that we're generating outcomes that are really going to help us get where we want to be in the future. So thank you.